G'day, Michael here again. If there are any cabinet components that have this kind of a slot cut in them, I don't know see how well you can see that. This kind of a slot. Just getting a bit of focus on that maybe. They have a very interesting joint detail that requires these fittings. Actually, see if I can zoom in a bit better on it. There's this component. See, there's a bit of a, I don't know, fancy profile there. Have another look at that slot. Don't know how well the lighting shows it up. There we go. Now with those fittings, I'll just zoom out a tad again. So there's focused-ish. Alright, now simply one component, this is the male component. It's very like a, going to say, very complicated version of a clothes peg. It's designed to pick up on this component here, which is the female component. Obviously, you put the female component on one side. These are called Lamello Tenso fittings. I do my best to not have any fancy hardware restricting what you can do with your cabinetry components, but in some situations I simply have to put some kind of fancy fitting to give you a proper joint detail that's very, very hard for you to duplicate on site. Now this is a particularly handy joint. See, I put the males in there, the females are in there, and with a bit of careful alignment and a bit of pressure, they pretty much clip in. Now what you can do, if you do want to, depending on what the job is, just see if I can wind them a tad. If you do want to, you can glue a joint and use those as a clamp to hold it together, or you can leave it as a dry joint if there's something you want to have removable. As you can see, that was quite a simple procedure. The joint's actually flushened up quite nicely. I don't know how well you can see that. It's very, very nicely flushened up. Yeah, and you've needed no tools. I've needed the fancy tools, but you haven't. Okay, like I said, I try to avoid using these sorts of fittings where it might restrict you with the usage of, you know, if you want to turn things over, use another edge, have to work around some unforeseen problem on site. But sometimes I simply have to put a fancy joint in there to get the job done for you. Alright, I hope that was of interest. I'll just maybe get another close-up of those fittings. Lamello Tenso fittings. I'll just prepare that as a zoom. Male. Female. And the two just simply go together. Like carrots and peas, as Forrest Gump would say. Alright, there you go.